Hi guys, it's Trisha with Homemade Homestead. I wanted to make a video that's kind of a second video referring to the rabbit video that I just posted. The rabbit video that I just posted, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but got a lot of responses of anger and cryy faces and just comments of claiming that we are cruel and heartless and various things like that. Now, I knew when we got into these videos and that posting kind of your world out there and your life out there, that you do open yourself up for possible comments that are not always going to be kind. I'm very aware of that, and I for the most part really realize that probably the easiest thing to do is just ignore it and move on, because frankly we can't ever make everybody in the world happy. I'm very aware of that, and you can never make everybody happy with decisions you make in your life or what you do. And so I think for the most part, the type of comments that I got about the fact that we use rabbits as livestock, and the fact that we do raise them for the purpose of breeding them so that we can grow up the babies so that we can then process them out and have rabbit meat was, people weren't happy with that. And I realized that if you're not a homesteader and you do not understand this lifestyle, that of course is going to seem foreign to you, and the idea of rabbits as anything besides pets is just a hard concept to grasp, and I get that. But the comments were beyond that, being able to grasp just that you couldn't grasp the idea. And the only reason I want to address it is for the sake of myself and all the other homesteaders out there who have in the past maybe encountered these type of comments that have been told that they are cruel or heartless, and how could you do that to a poor animal and all of that. What I would like for the other side to remember or see is that farmettes and homesteaders like myself, we raise animals because we love them and care about them. I completely understand and 100% agree with animal cruelty is wrong. But every person I know that is homesteading, and homesteaders and farmers that I have correlated with through the internet and various things, we do this because we believe it's wrong and because we want to change things. Big factory run farms do not care for the animals properly. They do not normally care for them humanely. They don't love them and give them a worthwhile life, that if their life is short-lived, no matter how long an animal's life is leading up to the day of processing, that time period they should have the best life possible. And me as a homesteader, I choose to raise my own meat because, first of all, I want to know what's in the meat. I want to know how healthy it is. I want to know that what I'm feeding my family is healthy. But one of the tipping points to do this is because we don't want to support the big factory farms that do it in an inhumane manner. And so I think a lot of people see homestead videos, see people like myself talk about raising animals for food and raising animals for meat. And you have this mentality that we don't care, that we don't love our animals, when it's actually the exact opposite. If you would take the time to go to these farms and these homesteads, meet the people that are doing this, and see how we care for our animals and see how much love that we put into them, how much time we spend loving on them, caring for them, and making sure that they have the best life possible in the time frame that they have, I think your point of view would change. To be called cruel and heartless and not an animal lover, especially from people who don't know me, so I really don't need to defend this, but I feel like us as homesteaders, if we just bypass those comments all the time and say it's not worth our time, we can't change people's point of view, we're not going to bother, then maybe we'll never get anywhere. But maybe we won't either way. People have their mind frame, and that's fine. But my life has been animals my entire life. I grew up in a home with a mom who absolutely loved animals, who blessed us with the opportunity to have every kind of pet you can imagine that you could put in a house, that we could love on and care for and learn about, and learn good life lessons for how you love and care for something else besides yourself. My first job in high school was at a pet store, loving, caring for, and protecting animals. My second job as my adult job was, I'm vet tech. My whole career was healing animals and taking care of them and doing everything I could do to help them, alongside of volunteering at rescues and animal rehabilitation centers, rehabilitating wildlife that had been injured for various reasons and helping them get rehabbed to be released. So a lot of these comments come, and you don't even know how, you can't even imagine my love and passion I have for animals and how much I love them. I would never do anything to harm an animal or allow them to suffer. And yes, I raise animals for food. And yes, I do process them, which means we have to kill them. But we do it in the most humane possible way so the animals never suffer. And their entire life on my homestead, they have the best life that an animal could have. So I just encourage those of you who know nothing about homesteading. I realize that a lot of you are probably vegan, and you have chosen that lifestyle because you have seen the horrific pictures of animals being mistreated that are raised for people's food source. And I support that decision. I don't want to do anything to support those farms and these big factory farms that treat animals inhumanely, that do not do it right, that do not make sure that they're cared for and healthy and have the best life that they can have. So I 100% support that decision. But you have to know that there are so many of us in the world who are not vegan, will never go vegan. So I encourage you, for the family members or the friends that you have that are not vegan, please, push them to buy their food, their meat, from small homesteads, from farmettes, from places that are trying to do the same thing that you're trying to do, which is put an end to animal cruelty, put an end to the way that these big factory farms work and not taking the time to care for the animals properly. So I encourage the people around you to support homesteads and farmettes that actually do love and care for the animals and do want to make sure they have their best life ever, who do it right. I also want you to remember that being a vegan, although you may think it's a great decision and you may think that it's healthy for you and you may feel super healthy, it's not a decision for everybody. As I mentioned in my video, one of the reasons we chose rabbits and one of the reasons we raise rabbits is because I have a son who has an autoimmune disease, eosinophil esophagitis. His body thinks that food is foreign. And if I were to allow him to just eat whatever he wants, the foods that his body views as a foreign substance, the EOE would make his esophagus stiffen and lose the ability to swallow. He would be living on a feeding tube. And I'm not going to apologize for doing whatever I have to do to keep my son healthy and keep him nourished and to keep him from having to live out his life on a feeding tube. And so most vegans, live their life on wheats, soy, grains, and corn. And my son is highly allergic to all of those. He cannot eat those things. He can't even eat a garden fresh vegetable or a salad without having to be dosed with Benadryl to deal with the oral allergy reaction that he will have. And so in order to keep him alive and to keep him healthy, meat and potatoes, those are his options. And so not everybody has the liberty to say, to choose to be a vegan and not eat animal product because of the way their body works. And so I would encourage you to remember the flip side of that that this decision is for you, veganism or choosing, that is a decision, and not everybody even has that option for their health and well-being. So again, I'm not going to rant about this for a really long period of time because I realize most people aren't even going to want to hear it. And those of you who labeled me cruel and heartless and not a lover of animals and the various other things that were said, that this may just be hitting you like a brick wall anyway and might be wasting my breath. But maybe if one or two of you out there hear another side of it and understand that not everybody that raises animals and uses animal products or even butchers and processes animals for a food source is cruel and heartless. Anybody who has met me knows that my love and my passion for animals and has been to my homestead has seen the time, effort that I have put into caring for these animals to make sure that they are the healthiest that they could be and that they have the best life that any animal could possibly have. So again, I encourage you, find your local homestead, talk to someone who does this, see what they do, and then maybe you will begin to realize that we're not cruel and heartless, and we actually do care about our animals, and we do this for that exact reason, because we care about animals, because we want them to have a good and healthy life. And yeah, so that's about it. That's about it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Continue watching. If this life is foreign to you, please keep watching, because maybe seeing a little bit of you will see a side of people that you don't understand, and realizing that we aren't what you think we are. So have a great day. Talk to y'all later. Thanks. Bye.